We played Georgia Wednesday. They're a really good basketball team, obviously very well coached. Coach Crean's one of the best coaches in the country. He's been head coach for 20 years, and he's won a lot of games. Been to a Final Four at Marquette. Was very successful at Indiana. He's going to do a great job at Georgia, and we got to keep getting better. We're 2-0, but we have a lot of work to continue to improve on. And however, I really like our group. Jose did not practice yesterday. I think he's questionable for Wednesday. He'll probably do a little stuff today, but obviously if he's not able to go full throttle by tomorrow, it's going to be hard to play him on Wednesday because he's going to have missed a lot of time over a week and a half, and it's just, for his sake, we don't want to do anything to jeopardize him for the long term. So let's see if he can go today and tomorrow, and if not, obviously he won't play on Wednesday. But so right now I would say questionable. But George is really good. They got a lot of good players, and we're going to have to play. We're going to play our A game if we're going to have a chance to win the game.
What did you learn about playing without Jose the last game?
Well, we're a better team with Jose, but if he's not there, guys got to step up and get the job done. Bubba's got to continue to get better, and Bubba's a really good player, and I'm glad we have him. And obviously Jose's, you're a better team with Jose just based on his experience factor. So, but other guys got to step up, and you can't play.
Is it a situation with Bubba where he's pressing a little bit with your shot, you think?
Probably, and he's asked to do a little different than from where he was at VMI, and so it's just he just got to get into the flow and the comfort level of our system and both ends of the floor. But it'll happen. He's a good player. He's getting better. He's a high character young man, and like I said, I'm really happy we have him. And he's a great teammate. Just hopefully, he made a 3 at the end of the game there on Monday versus Elon, and hopefully that will get him get a little traction going forward too.
You mentioned at the start of the season you were looking for Khalid to fill up the stat sheet. Have you seen that from him the first few games?
Khalid's been really good. He's done a really nice job in things that haven't shown up in the box score. So who we are, we're all about motor and just playing hard. That's who we've got to be. Control the controllables, which is we try to be really good defensively, and that's what we can control. And because that's really been multiple efforts and playing hard and diving on the floor, and as I like the motor championship motor board is like we like that we have. Which we stole from Coach Collins. So I want to give him full credit for that, for the championship motor board. He deserves full credit for that. So Khalid's been good. He's done a nice job. He's done his role, and he's got to keep going as we move forward.
In what way beyond his effort level has he most improved?
I've told him, you got to play with an edge and a chip on your shoulder, and when he does that, he's really good. Because I said, you don't ever forget where you were ranked coming out of high school, what you're listed as, and so you've got to keep that underdog mentality and that edge about you. And when he does, he's really good. And I remind him on that all the time. And he's just been a little more consistent. We've had 2 games this year to this point, but he's been pretty consistent in his first 2 games, obviously.
Go ahead.
Is there anything that make you believe that you're better positioned to play Georgia now than the last couple of years?
No, I don't know. Steve, I think part of it is, when you look at our schedule, I recognize the importance of the Georgia game for Georgia Tech, for Georgia Tech and everything, but however, we have such a, daunting schedule that we've scheduled that and you look over these next 13 days, once these 5 games that we've got, there's just no gimmies, and that's our whole schedule, and then obviously ACC. So I look at us more than just the Georgia game. I look at us, are we in a better position this year to hopefully turn the corner And I don't know if with that, I don't want to put a win-loss record on that. It's just, are we in a better position to turn the corner based that we're older? And I've said that when I got the job here, that we've got to get old and stay old, and we are a little bit older this year, but a lot of it's staying healthy too along the way. So I like our group a lot, and I just think for this overall year, just like for North Carolina State, I felt, we got down, and I thought our maturity level, we didn't let it bother us as much. Maybe if we were a younger team, that might have affected it. So, that's just hopefully, as I believed in getting old and staying old and through player development, you just hopefully continue to improve as the year continues to go on.
What do you see as the importance of the Georgia game, even as far as the profile and recruiting? Trying to be prominent within your own state.
Yeah, I've coached. This is my 11th year, so every game I look at. I've never taken a game that I don't take for granted. I take for granted. So every game we try to go and we prepare the same way, no matter who we play. So every game to me is important and is big. But I also recognize. I recognize the importance of the Georgia game for Georgia Tech, for the fans, and for the alumni and everybody. And so I recognize that. And so we're going to give our best preparation that we can, just like we would in any other game that we play. And we're just going to, we got to go play well. If we want to beat Georgia, we need to play well. And they're a very good basketball team, and they're very well coached. And Coach Crean's, one of the best coaches in the country, and they've got a top 3, maybe the #1 draft pick, and they've got a lot of other good players besides Anthony Edwards. And so we're going to have to play really well to win the game.
Have you made it?
You got a chance to see Edwards quite a bit before he even came to Georgia.
I said last year, when I said in the summer, and is going into his senior year, when I was watching in Las Vegas, I said he could step on the NBA court and score double digits. This was in Las Vegas when he was a summer going into his senior year, that he was good enough to play in the NBA at that moment and score double digits.
In terms of Christian, have you guys come to a decision?
We're still in the discussion of it right now. We'll know more here next few days probably, but I think we're leaning towards redshirting.
I imagine you can set in with injury or something.
If something happens, that could happen, as long as it's, if you just in general, if you're going to redshirt someone, if you're going to pull someone off a redshirt, just to be fair to them, if you're going to pull them off, they need to play a lot of minutes. Just to burn a year, if it's just going to be a few minutes here and there, that wouldn't be fair to the individual. And that's more of a general philosophy. So, but we're in discussion. We'll come down to here at the final decision here sooner than later.
I imagine getting Jordan in December makes that an easier decision if you decide to.
I think Christian's going to, like I said, I think Christian's got a chance to be a really good player. And it's just, he continues to improve. And it's just one of those things where it's hard to play everybody. And I probably play 7 to 8 guys. That's just the kind of rotation that it is. So, but like I said in our last press conference, when he's 22 as a junior and 23 as a senior, he's got a chance to be, really good. I believe that. So, yeah.
For Khalid to play with an edge, what does that look like? Is that mostly getting the 50-50 ball?
Yeah, 50-50, just multiple effort plays. There's a lot of things that don't show up in the box score that I can determine based on grading the film. So I have clear distinction of what it looks like.
How would you grade it?
For first two games, he's been good. He's been playing well. He's been great at a high level. He's done a very nice job. I'm very proud of him. He's been at a high level in things that we've asked him to do.
A lot of the trademark of your team's defense. What's the challenge with Georgia and the tempo and their ability to score?
They play fast. Coach Crean's teams are always very good offensively, even when they're back at Marquette. Obviously, they've scored their first 3 games. I think they're 7th in the country, or top 10 in the country in tempo, and top 10 in the country in 2-point field goal percentage. And so they really put a lot of pressure on them offensively, the way they attack downhill. And they got really good players. They've got really, really good players. And obviously, Anthony Edwards is very special, but he's not the only guy. And he's an unselfish guy. He doesn't, he's an unselfish player, and he plays within their system. And they've got other really good players as well, too. And in fact, Moose had a stat today, at least for us, you know, because I know, what was it, Moose, that we've had 70 possessions or?
72, adjusted tempo, 72.
Which is, I think, for a full season, it's only happened 4 times at Georgia Tech since '97.
Well, only that much twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 other times, 70.5.
Okay, so we're not playing as fast as Georgia, but my point is, I did say this year we are trying to play with more possessions, and we have done that in our first 2 games. But Georgia's fast. I mean, they're good offensively. He runs great stuff, and they've got a really good team, and they got good players.
Is it weird you're playing 4 pretty good teams out of the chute with, you know, and starting at NC State, you went up there and then you play Georgia on the road, and you have Arkansas.
Well, that's what I told Steve. I said we can't. You look at our schedule. I mean, you can't get too high or too low for any team. I mean, we're not in that position to do that. I mean, we had a tough schedule, and I know I probably get criticized for it. I think we got the toughest schedule in the country. You know, and maybe I'm biased, but I really believe that. I mean, you look at who we scheduled, who we've gone out and scheduled. You just don't. You got to prepare. Like we've prepared the same way for every single game, no matter who you play. Because look, I was more stressed about Elon than I probably was about North Carolina State, because you just know, that you see around the country people have letdowns in some of those games like that. So, just the preparation is really important. We take a lot of pride in trying to do the best job we can to be prepared when we enter the game.
The turnovers beyond just telling the team to take care of the ball better, like what specifically do you want them to do?
Take care of the ball better. I mean, if we're playing a little bit faster pace, Ken, we're going to have some turnovers, but we got to take care of the ball better. I mean, that's really. I mean, I don't want to be. I'm not being condescending. I'm being honest. And we got to just take care of the ball better. We just got to keep things simple. I thought Michael Devoe had some turnovers that was uncharacteristic, and I thought maybe last game not having Jose there, maybe getting adjusted to that a little bit. So, but I mean, Georgia, I think they're one of the tops in the country in steals too, if I'm not mistaken. So they do a good job of getting in the passing lanes and getting steals. So we're going to do a great job of taking care of the ball.
How early were you recruiting Anthony?
We were very, very early. We spent a lot of time over at Thurl High School. I thought, we had known he was going to be really good early on, and we had spent a lot of time at Thurl. And then, as time went on, we recognized we were going to be able to get him. So one of my biggest things in recruiting is knowing when to get out, not to waste time. And so that was just, on that.
In terms of your own recruiting class you signed, I guess probably in terms of our evaluation, it's probably the best class you've signed since you've been here. Kind of what do you see from the guys you signed?
No, I like all 3 guys we signed. I think Saba, he's 7'1" with a 7'4" wingspan, and he's talented and he's skilled and he can play. I think Tristan Maxwell's vastly underrated. Everyone would come back here in 2 years and say, how did not more people go after him? He can really shoot it and score it. But he's got to continue to get better. But he's a good player. He's got the bloodlines, obviously, with his dad. His dad's the second in history of the SEC in all-time scoring. Only 1/9 of players in the history of the NBA to have 30 points in a game. He's got the bloodlines to be able. He just knows how to score. And then Jordan Meka, I think's, just an incredible athlete. We've led the ACC in shot blocking. I think every year we've been here, but maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I think we have. But either way, Jordan Meka is a great shot blocker, and he helps us continue that of what we're trying to do with his athleticism and shot blocking.
How important was that in terms of you lose James, obviously, and don't really have a true backup center.
Jordan and Saba can help us fill that void on that. And you know how I feel about recruiting rankings. I respect everybody that does that, because all those guys, that are doing the rankings, they're working their tail off. But they might see a kid one time,
Sure.
and a kid plays poorly, and then all of a sudden, he's not ranked. They're trying to see mass kids. Our job is to see a kid over and over and over, and then you got to trust, our evaluation. So that's why, the evaluating part is so important. Evaluating, developing. When you're making decisions in recruiting. And that's why with the rankings, you just, it's really kind of like how football says you got to wait till 5 years or 4 years. There's certain, maybe the top 20 guys in the country, you probably know they're going to have a chance to be one and done or whatever it may be. But everyone else, I think it really is a testament to how you evaluate and then develop.
Is that why Maxwell was underrated, because he was playing on the Under Armour circuit and they didn't watch that circuit as much as they did
I don't know. I
Dean?
just think he can score the ball. You guys all know this. When you can score, you either have that innate ability, and you just something about you just know how to put the ball in the basket.
32 points the first game.
Yeah, you can just score the ball.
Did you watch his dad when he was at the Rockets?
Yeah, I was a big Rockets fan. I was a season ticket holder. He was on won the championships, and he's a great guy. I mean, even when he came on his official visits, I believe is how you coach kids is how you can recruit, is how you recruit them. So and I tell you, if you want to pamper them and everything, then you can't coach the kids hard when they get here. I really believe in how you're able to coach kids is how you recruit them. And I've always believed you're going to recruit hard, but you're going to be very direct and I'm not a big believer in the pampering things. And you got to, if kids want to come, great. And a guy like Vernon, which I appreciate, Tristan's dad, he was like, hey, all 3 kids that we signed, there was no frills or, they didn't need a bunch of fluff, as I like to call it. They understood that this is what it's going to take, and if they want to get here and do the job, this is, and I appreciated Vernon had the same type of mentality of that for his son.
Imagine if he's half the shooter his dad was, he'd be pretty pleased.
Oh, his dad played 13 years in the NBA, so
Less than 1
he can be, he's a good player. I think he's underrated. Now I'm speaking that, so he's got to come out and produce it. Otherwise, I'm going to be held for it for what I said. So I get it, but
That never happened.
yeah, no, that's okay. But I admit if I say something that doesn't happen, then I got to own it. So
He's clearly going to shoot 38% from 2.
well, I've taken out the percentages. You told me that for top 7, 33% will be in the top 7. So I'm just staying right now on that. But let's just take care of the ball for right now.